Hi friends, I figured that this would be the easiest way to walk through slides with the least amount of frustration on my end. So today we are going to be working through our math slides once I can get this all up and going. So today you're going to be working on day 2 of fraction. So today's focus is what a fraction is and understanding what a unit fraction is. So the question that we start off with is how you can describe equal parts. So to you, what is an equal part? And it can vary. It means like the same portion, or when you're dividing something into equal sections, or you're making sure everyone has the same amount of objects. So number 1 is asking you which pictures, are showing 1/3 shaded. So like I said in the video yesterday, the top number shows how many of the objects are shaded, and the bottom number shows how many there are total. So in this case, we have 1/3, and that means that the 1 is our numerator, the third is our denominator. So we're looking for shapes that have 3 equal parts and have 1 part shaded in. So you can see this one has 1 out of 3, and this one has 1 out of 3. So we know that those two are the only right answers because they're the only ones that have 3 equal parts. This one does have 3 parts, but this piece right here isn't the same size as this one and this one, so it can't be used as a fraction bar. This one has 4 total pieces, so we know that cannot show 1/3 as well. So if you just click, you know what we just said. The only 2 options we have are those. Now, number 2 is just walking you through how to show that in a fraction bar or a fraction model. So there are 2 numbers to a fraction. The bottom number, the denominator, tells how many equal parts are in the whole. The top number is the numerator, and that tells how many equal parts are described. So I want you to write the fraction for the shaded parts of the shapes you circled in problem 1. And I included the picture of our fraction models from the previous slide in this slide for you. So we circled this one, and now we need to make a fraction to match the picture. So if we look up here, part shaded in red is our numerator, and parts in the whole are our denominator. So we have 1 shaded, so it would be 1 on the top in our numerator, and we have 1, 2, 3 total pieces that are equal, so 3 parts of a whole. So our fraction would be 1/3. Now, number 3 is just asking you to write the fraction in words. So, for example, 1/4, they want you to actually write out the words 1/4, and same thing with 1/2, 1 and half in actual words, not numbers. Now, a unit fraction is a special type of fraction, meaning there is a 1 in the numerator. It's 1 part of the entire whole. So, an example of a unit fraction is 1/4. So, for us to shade 1/4 of the model below, we would need to shade in 1 of these squares because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces total. And to have a unit fraction, you have to have a 1 in the numerator. So that means you're only shading in 1 of these boxes. And you can see that there. Like I said in the beginning, it might be easier to walk through some of these with a separate sheet of paper and kind of pause and work through that as I'm talking. That way you can work through it on your own and then go and check your work with me. So let's look at this same fraction bar. So this one says to shade 3/4 of the model. So on this last slide, we shaded in 1/4. Now we need to shade in 3/4. Now remember, like we did in the previous slide, we're just putting the fraction into words. So this 3 is still our numerator, and this 4th is still our denominator. We still have 4 equal parts, but now we need 3 shaded in. So you would shade in not just 1, but 3. So how could you count each fourth you shaded to also name the fraction? You could go 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, or 1 whole. So if we go back to A, it says shade 3/4 of a model. So if we shade in 3 of these boxes, our number shaded is 3, and our parts in the whole, or our total number of parts here, is 4. So it would be 3/4, and again, just asking us to put it in words, not numbers, it would be 3/4 in words. And again, as always, if you have any questions with any of this, I am more than happy to go over it with you in a video chat or anything, or if you need to go back and review anything, that's why this video is here, or any of the other videos attached to our Google Classroom for Lesson 20. So we are already at our exit ticket, so explain why the denominator does not change when you are counting from 1/4 to 3/4. So think about that for a second. Why does our denominator not change? But our numerator changes. Now remember, the numerator is the number shaded, and then the bottom, the denominator, is our parts of a whole, our total parts to make one whole. So keep that in mind. I'm just going to hit enter so we can walk through this together. So the parts are all in fourths, so the denominator does not change. So if you look back to our previous slides, we had to shade in 1/4 and we had to shade in 3/4. To get to the 3/4, we also had to shade in 1/4, and then we had to shade in 2/4, and then we got to the 3/4. So that is just showing us that we are coloring in or shading in or taking away or putting something more toward that total number, which in this case is 4. So it's like, say we had 4 strawberries and we had 4 students who wanted a strawberry. So one student would get one strawberry, the second student would get a strawberry. So we would just start building until eventually we use all the strawberries and get to 4/4. So because our denominator stays fourths, we know we're dealing with the same picture, model, and we're just adding pieces. So we start with 1, we eventually go to 3, then eventually we go to 4 until we have the whole. So the denominator does not change because we are still dealing with fourths. So that is our slides for today. I hope that it was beneficial to kind of walk through it and hear me talking you through it. Like I said, you can do the practice problems on your own. You can use this. You can do a combination of the both, pausing as you go. It's whatever works best for you. And I hope that this was beneficial. And if it is, will gladly keep doing it. Have a great day. And like I said, if you have any questions, please, 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 please let me know. Have a good day.